Yo, we back. I hope y'all had an amazing weekend. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II, and you guys are locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. And 9 times out of 10, we're going to get a W tonight. That's just the energy I'm on. I woke up feeling good. I woke up feeling great. I feel grand. I'm here with the beautiful people. I'm super happy to be here with you guys on a football Monday night football in America for your Philadelphia Eagles. Get excited. It's going to be a hell of a game. Week 2 was an amazing weekend for football. It was the weekend of upsets. It was the weekend of unforeseen circumstances. I watched a lot of games yesterday. I got a chance to watch the Saints-Cowboys game. That was hilarious. I got a chance to take a quick peek at. I got a chance to watch that Niners-Vikings game. I got a chance to watch a little bit of that Rams-Cardinals game. What else did I get a chance to watch? I watched the Bengals-Chiefs. I watched Texans-Bears last night. It was a hell of a day for football yesterday. It was fun. It was exciting, man. I really enjoyed that Bears-Texans game last night, even though it wasn't that high scoring. It was enjoyable. It was cool seeing the two young quarterbacks going back and forth. It was cool seeing how the defenses played. Right, I'm pretty intrigued by the Texans and the Bears defenses, respectively. That Chiefs and Bengals game was interesting for sure. Definitely ended on a weird note, but Chiefs beat Bengals. I mean, that's a pretty fascinating rivalry in and of itself. Maybe we'll have a real conversation about Joe Burrow. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. And then obviously again, Cowboys, Saints. That was just comedy. It was comedy, man. It was beautiful. And I'm so happy that I get the experience and have that conversation with you guys. Hey, Ree, how about them Cowboys? Whatever they were yesterday. How about them? hell of a day for the damn for the Cowboys. You come off a weekend where you dropped north of 30 points on the Browns defense, and then you come home and you look the way you looked against the Saints. That can't happen. That can't happen. A game like that cannot happen. So, nonetheless, man, it is what it is. Also, by the way, you guys, I do want to announce our giveaway winner from Friday. And I want to give a shout out to our girl. Where is that? Let me make sure I pull up on the screen here. Give me a second, you guys. All right, there it is. I want to give a shout out to my girl, Fanny, the Eagles fan, holding it down in Ohio. Fanny was our giveaway winner from last week. Shout out to Fanny. Fanny, I appreciate you for supporting the show. I really do appreciate you for sending your kind words and always being engaged in the content. I'm grateful for you. So I want to give a shout out to Fanny, the Eagles fan, holding it down for the Philadelphia Eagles in Ohio. She could be a Browns fan. She could be a Bengals fan, but she is an Eagles fan, and she holds it down. So I want to give a special shout out to Fanny. Fanny, your gift should be reaching you by sometime tomorrow or maybe even Wednesday. I obviously, we've emailed back and forth. You have your tracking information. So shout out to my girl, Fanny, the Eagles fan, holding it down in Ohio. Really do appreciate her. Your gift should be arriving sometime tomorrow or maybe even early Wednesday. We'll see. But it'll definitely be there within the next 24 to 48 hours. So again, shout out to Fanny. I really do appreciate her. All right. And we're going to be doing giveaways later on this week, you guys. We're going to be doing giveaways later on this week. and we're going to make sure we take care of everybody. Okay, I don't do repeat winners, so I just want to make sure everyone has a fair shot at winning this thing. So just make sure you guys stay locked in. You never know when I'm doing a giveaway. Just make sure you stay locked in every single time we're live. Every time a piece of content drops, just make sure you are locked in. Make sure you are locked in. Yeah, and other news from football weekend, right? And we're going to get into the Eagles talk. We're going to get into that. We have plenty of time for that. I have another live stream set up for you guys later on around 5 p.m. Eastern time. So we have a lot of stuff to get into. We're going to have plenty of time to talk about your Philadelphia Eagles. I just want to do a quick round robin or a quick recap of the weekend in football. Like I said, the Cowboys, you can't look that bad, man. That defense looked awful. They were getting ran on. They couldn't protect the edges. It was bad. It was bad. The Saints look scary. And I think we play the Saints next week, right? I think the Eagles play the Saints next week. I want to make sure I got that right. Yes, we play the Saints next week on the road. So that's going to be a tough game. That's going to be a fascinating game for the Philadelphia Eagles because the Saints look like they have this really high-powered offense. Should be an exciting game. Look, it's the first couple weeks of the season. You know, eventually teams always regress to the mean or rise to the mean, right? You're never as bad as you look. You're never as good as you look. You feel what I'm saying? So you got to be you got to be mindful. You got to be mindful of how we not only gauge the Philadelphia Eagles, but you got to be mindful how you gauge the opponent as well. Again, you're never as great as you look. You're never as bad as you look. I learned that very early in life. Okay, most of the time we exist in the gray, and the Saints have been putting on a clinic these past couple weeks, back-to-back weeks, putting up north of 40 points. They are clearly the number one offense in football right now. I think they've had like several scoring drives in a row. They've had like 6, 7, 8 scoring drives in a row, maybe more than that. They are, as it appears, to be a high-powered offense. So that's going to be a hell of a game next week. And then obviously, man, the Tua news was spooky, right? I didn't get a chance to see that game live, but when I saw what happened to Tua, man, I was like, dude, at what point do you got to make an? At what point do you save yourself from yourself, right? At what point do you say, damn, I want to be able to at least remember who I am when I turn 40, 50 years old? Like, there's nothing worse. There's nothing scarier than not being in control of your body. Think about that. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had any sort of injury. Maybe you've been under the influence of something, or whatever it may be, right? Whatever traumatic event you've been through, there's nothing worse than not feeling in control of your physical, of your body, right? Let alone your memories. Think about that. Think about not being able to remember where you live, or not being able to remember the simple things, right? Your relationships, the names of family members, not being able to hold conversations, not being able to articulate your words, not being able to have a high quality of life when you get to a certain age, right? You see, so many people are focused on having a high quality of life now when you have your youth. It's easy to focus solely on your quality of life now when you have your youth, when you have your flexibility and you have your health, right? It's very easy to get so focused, hyper focused on your quality of life in your 20s. But you spend more time as an older man than you do as a young man. You spend more time as an older woman than you do as a younger woman. So I say that to say, I think Tua truly needs to evaluate what his long-term future and goals are. Because, and Fanny, you bring up a very good point. You bring up a very good point, Fanny. It's easy for me to talk about it, right? I don't play football. That's not my bread and butter. You feel what I'm saying? Like it's easy for me to say, hey, he should retire. It's easy for me to say that. But when you dedicate everything that you have, everything that you are to a craft, and all of a sudden they're telling you, listen, you should probably hang it up. That's the last thing you want to hear. Like me doing this every day with you guys, right? I can't imagine me getting to a mental capacity where, or lack thereof, where I can't do this show anymore. I can't imagine somebody saying, listen, Tone, I know you've been trying to hang on, but you're not there. You're not making any sense. You're not able to really string together sentences. You're not able to really string together cohesive sentences. I can't imagine somebody telling me that I should no longer do what I love because of the long-term ramifications. And look, anything can happen. Anything can happen. And I don't know if I'm saying he should hang it up. I don't know if I'm not saying that. I really don't know how I feel about it, if I'm being completely honest with you. But one thing I do know is that when you get to a certain age, you want your quality of life to be as serene as possible. You want your quality of life as an older man to be comfortable. You want to, at the very least, you want to have your wits about you. When you get to a certain point in life, right? You want to at least have your wits about you. You know, I talk to my parents all the time about taking care of themselves, making sure they do everything possible so they can have a high quality of life going forward, right? My parents are in their 50s. As a matter of fact, today's my mom's birthday. So I want to give a special shout out to my mom. My mom, Carolyn Palmer. You guys see her a lot in this live chat. It's my mom's birthday, and I'm super grateful for her. Yesterday was my grandmother's birthday. My grandmother turned 75. My mother turns 53 today. My stepmom, I believe my stepmom turns 54 this weekend on the 21st, or 55, something like that. I think she turned 54 or 55. Hey, listen, my people don't look at age. My people don't look a day over 40. I'm gonna be honest with you. My family don't look a day over 40. Oh man, so shout out to my mom. Happy birthday to her. Love you so much, Mom Dukes. I appreciate you, mama. Love you to death. Wouldn't be where I am without you. Happy birthday to my grandmother. My grandmother is the rock. She's spectacular. She's amazing. Does everything for everybody. Never asks for anything in return. Love her to death. Love her to death. We always have a conversation weekly. I think it's every Sunday or every Saturday. You know, she always calls. And you know, as young people, we got to do a lot better when we get in contact with our loved ones. We got to do a lot better than that. So I really do appreciate my grandmother. Happy birthday to her. Happy birthday to my mother. And happy future birthday to my stepmom. Her birthday is this weekend, on the 21st. So shout out to them. But yeah, man, hell of a weekend in football. Exciting, ups, downs, twists, turns, upsets. Very physical play. I loved it. And now, tonight, your Philadelphia Eagles face off against the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are coming off of a very ugly loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They lost 18-10. Those 10 points that the Falcons put up all came in the first quarter. Their offense was anemic quarters 2 through 4. And I fully expect the Atlanta Falcons to make a ton of adjustments, right? The Eagles are coming off of a really, really competitive game, a really, really strong win against the Green Bay Packers, right? That Green Bay Packers team is good. They just beat the Colts, right, without their starting quarterback. So that Green Bay Packers team is very good. But the Eagles are coming off of a 34-29 point victory against the Green Bay Packers, where they put up those points in turbulence. They put up those points throughout chaos, and they still managed to string together offense, and the offense looked really, really good when it was on. And the defense, believe it or not, was better than I think we anticipated, given the circumstances, right? But now, you know, you go into the game with Saquon Barkley. You go into the game with Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, right? You go into the game with Jahan Dotson, that offensive line, Jalen Hurts, but you're going into this game without A.J. Brown. You're going into this game without arguably your most dominant weapon in A.J. Brown. Now, some people may say this up for debate because of Saquon Barkley being here and seeing what we saw him do. But A.J. Brown has a lengthy track record of being the most productive offensive player for the Philadelphia Eagles, or at least at the skill position, right? He is arguably their most dominant football player outside of Saquon Barkley. And you're going to be without him tonight. You're going to be without A.J. Brown tonight. He's dealing with a hamstring injury, right? He's dealing with a hamstring injury. And at first we thought, not that deep. Not that deep. He'll be okay. And then as the days went on, things got more and more spooky. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. Follow me here. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm really not worried. I'm not as worried as I would have been last year, because now you have better wide receiver depth. I wouldn't be surprised. And also Johnny Wilson may be out this game as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Philadelphia Eagles, Johnny Wilson is currently questionable right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Philadelphia Eagles elevate Paris Campbell. I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. Obviously, A.J. Brown is very pivotal to this offense, and his presence makes a lot of what we do work. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say not having A.J. Brown, this offense is going to feel that. They're going to feel that. They're going to feel not having A.J. Brown. But to be honest with you, the way the play calling was in week one, and some of the things we saw, I'm actually intrigued to see how this offense looks. How this Kellen Moore offense looks with Devontae Smith sort of being the focal point or being at the forefront of the wide receiver room. I'm curious to see how this offense floats without A.J. Brown. You need to know these kind of things because anything can happen in football. You may be without somebody at any point in the season like you are right now, but this is why you go get Jahan Dotson. This is why you bring in a guy like Kellen Moore to make sure your offense is a well-oiled machine, regardless of who's there. Because Kellen Moore's offense is predicated on getting guys in space. And we saw that in that Green Bay Packers matchup, how much space guys had to work with, how much space A.J. Brown was able to work with. You feel what I'm saying? So, and Jalen Hurts, right? Devontae Smith, all those guys. We saw guys getting open in space. So, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm happy about not having A.J. Brown, but I'm also not going to sit here and act like I'm panicking, because I'm not. I'm really not. Granted, I fully expect the Atlanta Falcons to be a better team this Monday or today. I expect them to be better because they were not good against the Steelers. I expect the Atlanta Falcons to overcorrect a lot of the things they did. Hey, Kirk Cousins even spoke about it and chalked it up to rust. Very well could be, right? Getting that feel, settling in. It could be rust, but that didn't look like, I don't know. We'll see. That didn't look like rust to me. That looked like limitations. But we'll find out. So, real quick, I want to give you guys the injury report. So, the Atlanta Falcons, let me pull this up on screen here. So the Atlanta Falcons are going to be without Antonio Hamilton Sr. He's a corner. They're going to be without Nate Landman at linebacker. They have those few players on IR: Milo Eifler, DeMarco Helms, and Robert Burns, all on IR or PUP. And then the Philadelphia Eagles, they are going to be without A.J. Brown tonight. And Johnny Wilson is currently questionable. And obviously we know the whole James Bradbury, Jacob Harris, Sidney Brown stuff, right? So you're going to be without A.J. Brown, and there's a chance you may be without Johnny Wilson, your best blocking wide receiver. So that can alter the running game for sure. That can alter the running game. But I think, again, A.J. Brown, a very, very, very dominant player, a player that you have to game plan for. But I'm not sweating it. I think this is a game the Philadelphia Eagles can very well win. I think this is a huge, huge opportunity for Jahan Dotson. Huge, massive. These are this is why the Philadelphia Eagles trade for you. This is why the Philadelphia Eagles take a chance on a guy like Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson, believe it or not, he's been a solid NFL player. Now, has he played up to his draft position, or does his stats play up to his draft position? Probably not, because back-to-back seasons, just over 500 receiving yards. His rookie year, he was on pace for damn near 1,000 yards, but he got hurt, and he put up over 500 yards. And I think he had like 7 touchdowns or something like that. He gets touchdowns. He's very good in the red zone for sure. He knows how to get open in the red zone. But his numbers don't give you first round. His numbers don't say first rounder. His numbers. That's a fact. I'm not gonna make anything up. His numbers don't say first rounder, but he's a talented player, and that's the kind of player you take a risk on. And I can't just jump out the window and say a player is good or not. He's only been in the league for 2 years, and honestly, he's did what he could with the opportunities he was given. He never had a quarterback. Never, he played behind Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel in Washington for the first 2 years of his career. I mean, he was never really given the number one opportunity playing behind Terry McLaurin. I mean, understandably so. But Jahan Dotson as a number 3, now he's elevated to a number 2 in this game, and he's played outside, he's played in the slot, he's played all over the field. I'm really intrigued to see how Jahan Dotson works in his offense. Now, I think I read some of you guys say he looked lost, right? Well, I mean, he was just traded for a week before the season started. He has to pick up an entire offense. He has to get a crash course on Kellen Moore's offense. Like we have to be reasonable about what we're asking these guys to do. We're asking you have to be reasonable about Jahan Dotson's situation. You got traded for a week before the season started, something like that, maybe a week and a half, and then your first game is in Brazil, right? Unique circumstances. I mean. And then you're playing behind A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. They used him in motion a lot. He was a decoy in various situations. What did you expect from Jahan Dotson in his first game? Like, what do you expect from him in his first game with the Philadelphia Eagles in this offense with a new coordinator? Right? Strange territory. But I think he'll be much more settled in this tonight because he has to be. Dotson knows that this is a huge opportunity for him. He's still on his rookie deal. He has a huge opportunity to prove that he's much better than what people think he is, right? And you know what's so funny about the Jahan Dotson situation? You never heard a negative word about Jahan Dotson until the training camp or the trade, right? You didn't hear a bad thing about Jahan Dotson until the trade. All of a sudden, Eagles fans are experts on Jahan Dotson and how good or how bad of a player he is all of a sudden, right? And I'm not even going to pretend, and I'm not even going to pretend to be an expert about Jahan Dotson. But what I am going to say is I'm going to say give the brother some time. He just got here. First game, Brazil. He did his job. He was in motion. He was a decoy. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He didn't hurt you. He didn't hurt you. And his presence here can only help you. You look for a guy. You bring in a guy like Jahan Dotson for this situation. And let's not pretend. Here's another thing too about some Eagles fans right now. Let's not pretend Jahan Dotson didn't give us work. Let's not pretend. Let's not pretend he didn't give us work. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what Jahan Dotson does. I really, really am. And numbers don't tell the whole story. Period. If we're gonna discuss a player, discuss the player in full. Discuss their situation in full. Jahan Dotson, first-round draft pick, drafted and played behind Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel. Back-to-back seasons, those two players led him in targets. He was ranked third in the team in targets. And with his opportunities, he put up over 500 yards. And back-to-back. Man, let me just go over his numbers, because there's no need for me to just keep talking out of my behind here. So Jahan Dotson. Let's bring it up on screen. These are Jahan Dotson's numbers. Here we go. This is Jahan Dotson. Rookie year, 12 games, 61 targets, 35 catches, 523 yards. Average 15 yards a catch, 7 touchdowns. He got hurt. Only gave you 12 games. He got hurt. He was on pace for about maybe 900 or 1,000 yards, something like that, right? Something like that. Well, I could do the math. No need to even guess. He was averaging 43 yards again, 43.6 times. Let me, okay. So at this pace, granted, he got hurt and there were 5 games left. At this pace, he was on pace for about 800 yards, 740 yards, right? Which is not a lot. But again, he got hurt, so it was really hard to extrapolate what he could have did. But, it's a projection. But regardless, though, 12 games, 523 receiving yards, average 15 yards of reception, 7 touchdowns. That's value. 2023, played all 17 games, but the quarterback play was awful. 17 games, 83 targets, 49 receptions, 518 yards, average 10 yards of reception. Every time he touched the ball, he get you a first down. Every time he touched the ball, he getting you a first down. In his career, every time he touched the ball, based off of the numbers, he gives you a first down. Is that not value? Is that not something you want on your team? You see, we can't talk crazy when we coming off of having guys like Quez Watkins. This is the shit I be talking about. Excuse my language. A lot of people be talking crazy like they got the right to be. We coming off having Quez Watkins, Jalen Reagor, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. The inconsistencies of a Travis Fulgham, John Hightower, and y'all want to try to talk to me about Jahan Dotson when nobody on our roster has given us these numbers until we got Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown? Like, come on. Humble yourselves for real. Humble yourself. Let's be honest. Would you rather Quez be your number 2 tonight? Would you rather Jalen Reagor be your number 2 tonight? J.J. Arcega-Whiteside? An inconsistent Travis Fulgham? An unmotivated John Hightower? Like, come on. Let's keep it a buck. But no, y'all want to talk shit about Jahan Dotson and say, he trash, he mediocre. We lucky to have mediocre. We didn't even have mediocre at the wide receiver position. Do y'all even know what mediocre means? Do some of y'all know what mediocre means? Mediocre means middle of the pack. You weren't great. You weren't awful. You were average. And when you look at Jahan Dotson's numbers, you say, mediocre. You say, average. And these numbers are average. His numbers are number 3 wide receiver numbers based off of his circumstances. But some of y'all want to sit here and try to talk down on Jahan Dotson where he just got here about a week or 2 ago, learning the offense, and y'all mean to tell me y'all some of y'all think he's trash or whatever it may be? Stop it. When you coming off of having when we coming off of having Quez Watkins, when you coming off of having a guy like Jalen Reagor, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, I don't want to hear nobody call Jahan Dotson trash. I don't want to hear nobody talk about that. I'm sorry. Whatever you're saying, I'm not jacking it. I'm not jacking it. Sorry. Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert. I think you can do a lot worse. I think you can do a lot worse. Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson. You still got Kenny Gainwell in the backfield that can catch the ball. Jalen Hurts at quarterback. You can do a lot worse. So I'm not going to sit here and jump out the window and act like I'm super concerned, right? It sucks not having A.J. Brown. It sucks. I wish A.J. Brown was playing. The Eagles are a better team with him. They are way better with him. But again, this is week 2. You're going against the Atlanta Falcons, who are still trying to prove themselves, right? Still trying to prove themselves. New quarterback, new coordinators, young offensive weapons, young offensive line, talented and has veterans on defense. You're going against the Atlanta Falcons team that don't know what they are yet. They don't know how good they are yet or how good they can be yet. You're catching the Atlanta Falcons at the right time. There's no better time to play the Atlanta Falcons than right now. There's no better time to have to deal with an A.J. Brown injury than right now when your season is still very much in front of you. There are teams that their season is pretty much up in smoke already. The Green Bay Packers, they won their game yesterday, but how long can Malik Willis hold the water? How long can Josh Jacobs continue to carry that offense, right? The Miami Dolphins, Lord knows when Tua comes back. Will Skylar Thompson, their backup quarterback, be able to hold it down? Who else can we go? The New York Giants, 0-2. We know they ain't going nowhere. What else? The Baltimore Ravens. I think the Ravens will be better going forward, but so far you start your season 0-2. So come on. The season is very, very much in front. It's in front of us. I would much rather be dealing with the issues now than week 10, week 11, week 12. You feel what I'm saying? So I think this is a game the Philadelphia Eagles should win. I think this is a game where I expect a significantly cleaner game from Jalen Hurts. I think this is another game where you get your running game involved early. See, watching that first game gave you a taste of just how legit the Eagles running game could be with Saquon Barkley, right? And that's another thing too, right? You're without A.J. Brown in the passing game. Guess what? You still got Saquon Barkley in the passing game still. Saquon Barkley is like having another wide receiver. As a matter of fact, you can make an argument Saquon Barkley's skills as a receiver, even though he's a running back, right? You can make an argument Saquon Barkley's skills as a receiver are on par with a number 2 wide receiver. Is that reasonable to say? Somebody help me out here. You're without A.J. Brown, but you got Devontae Smith as a pass catcher. Dallas Goedert as a pass catcher. You have Jahan Dotson as a pass catcher. You have Saquon Barkley as a pass catcher. You have Kenny Gainwell as a pass catcher. Kenny Gainwell made a couple plays last week that made me go, ooh, nice move, Kenny. I like that. So is the passing game really over with because A.J. Brown's not there? Again, A.J. Brown, I never want to dismiss A.J. Brown. The Eagles are way better with A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is the best receiver on the team, the most dominant receiver on the team. But once you get beyond A.J. Brown and you got Devontae Smith as a pass catcher, Saquon Barkley as a pass catcher, Dallas Goedert, I could stop right there. And I'm like, okay, all right, now that's a pretty good offense. And Saquon Barkley's pass catching ability, I put him on par with some number 2 receivers. Now, I'm not putting him on par with the Devontae Smith in terms of his receiving ability, but I think Saquon Barkley as a running back, his receiving ability is on par with more number 2 receivers than not. You see, a lot of trap games happened yesterday. That's not going to be the case tonight. That's not going to be the case tonight. The Philadelphia Eagles, they had a chance to watch the games on Sunday. This week was definitely a strange week for football, but I think this is going to be a good game for the Philadelphia Eagles. We saw them put up 34 points by accident. We saw the Eagles put up 34 points on a humbug with all those mistakes. I think the Eagles make close to little to no mistakes tonight. As a matter of fact, I'll say this. I think the Philadelphia Eagles in this game with no turnovers. I could be wrong. I don't know if that's considered a bold take or not, but I think the Philadelphia Eagles in this game with no turnovers. I think Jalen Hurts really locked in on that film from last week and noticed that, you know what? Damn, I really didn't have to throw that ball. Like, I know what I thought I saw, but I didn't have to throw that ball. And I'm going to get to your comments, by the way, you guys. Don't get me wrong. I got you. I think Jalen Hurts looked at that film and said, yeah, that can't happen. I got to take the easy stuff. That was silly. And then Jalen Hurts had a sit down. He had a sit down with Jason Kelce, which I really enjoyed. And Jalen Hurts said something that really stood out to me. He said, more than anything, more than talented. He said more than anything, more than just being talent, more than just being a talented team, you have to be learning. If you're going through these games and you're not learning from your mistakes, then you got a problem. I think Jalen Hurts learned from that week 1 game tremendously. That Eagles week 1 game gave you so much to really lock in on in the film room. Let's be honest. Even though they won the game, they put up 34 points. I think both offense and defense, they have a ton of stuff, or they had a ton of stuff that they was able to look at in the film room. I believe that. You want to be able to get a win and still have so much to correct. You want that. You want to be able to win a game, put up a lot of points and say, you know what? We still didn't play our best. That's a scary sight for a lot of teams. That's a scary sight. The Eagles put up 34 points, 3 turnovers, and it was all, they didn't even play their best. Mom Duke's in the building. Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button. It's my mama's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. I don't know if you saw earlier, but I gave you a very, very eloquent and heartwarming shout out earlier. Happy birthday to you. My mom's turning 43 this year. My mom turning 43 this year. You know what I'm saying? And my stepmom turning 44. You know? And my grandmom, she turned 55. You know what I'm saying? I know some of y'all probably like, wait, what? The math not mathing, Tone. Ain't you 29? And I'm just talking ish, man. You know, my mom is such a beautiful person, and I'm grateful for her. So yeah, I really do appreciate my mom. Really do appreciate her. Yeah, but for the record, I'm 29. I'll be 30 this year. I'll be 30 this year. And my parents are in their 50s. My grandma's in her 70s. You know what I'm saying? So really do appreciate all the love, y'all. Really do. Shout out to my mom. Happy birthday to her. Happy birthday. So yeah, man. Although Jalen Hurts will be without AJ Brown, although he still has Devontae Smith at his disposal. You still have Saquon Barkley. You still got Dallas. Honestly, if it was me, this would be a game where I'm getting Dallas Goedert and Saquon Barkley involved. See, Dallas Goedert has to be your AJ Brown type tonight. And what I mean by that is he has to be your dominant physical force. Dallas Goedert is faster than most linebackers. He's stronger than most safeties. He's bigger than most safeties and corners. You have to get Dallas Goedert involved in this game like immediately. You got to get Dallas Goedert involved in this game early, because what's going to happen is you see Saquon Barkley and Dallas Goedert. Those two brothers are walking mismatches. Walking mismatches. If you can get Dallas Goedert on the right matchups, and that's why I'm confident in this matchup. That's why I'm confident in Kellen Moore's offense, because his offense is predicated on locating the mismatches. Locating the mismatches. I think Dallas Goedert is a walking mismatch. I think Saquon Barkley is a walking mismatch. Don't put no linebacker on Saquon Barkley. You better not put a linebacker on Dallas Goedert. Jesse Bates, Justin Simmons, y'all better bring your ass down here, because Dallas Goedert and Saquon Barkley gonna eat if y'all don't play up. I think this is a game where you got to get Dallas Goedert going. I really believe that. You got to get Dallas Goedert going. And Devontae Smith, I'm never worried about Devontae. Is always going to get his. Devontae is always going to know how to get open. I trust Devontae's hands. I trust his technique. He's clutch as hell. Like the Eagles literally have players who are walking mismatches. A.J. Brown, a walking mismatch. Dallas Goedert, a walking mismatch. Saquon Barkley, same thing. So you go into this game with wide receivers who are a little bit more finesse, right? Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, those guys are more finesse-based in their game. But you got Saquon Barkley and Dallas Goedert who are much more physically imposing. Saquon Barkley, he can get elusive, he can get freaky back there, but Saquon Barkley has no problem putting his shoulder down and carrying you 10 yards. Dallas Goedert has no problem putting his shoulder down and carrying you 10, 15 yards. So this Eagles offense has always had a good blend of finesse and power. Saquon Barkley, an amazing blend between finesse and power. Dallas Goedert, a great blend between finesse and power. Devontae Smith, finesse, but he's strong. That's another thing about Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith will break a couple tackles on your ass. Right? Jahan Dotson, as far as his game is concerned, I would consider his game a little bit more finesse. Right? And then Kenny Gainwell. I know we don't talk about Kenny Gainwell that much, and I've been down on Kenny Gainwell over the past couple seasons. I'll fully admit that. But I like Kenny Gainwell with a Saquon Barkley in front of him. I like that. I like Kenny Gainwell in this offense with Kellen Moore. I think Kenny Gainwell is going to be able to really – I think Kenny Gainwell is somebody that you also got to watch in the passing game. As a matter of fact, don't be surprised if you see 21 personnel, right? 2 running backs, 1 tight end, 2 wide receivers. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. So I'm not going to sit here and say, woe is me about the game. We're in trouble. I'm not tripping about I'm not. The Atlanta Falcons got to come in and prove it. Listen, we home. We're going to be in Philly. They got it fucked up. We're going to be in Philly. So they gotta travel here. It's Monday Night Football. Prime time, baby. Philadelphia. The lights is bright. Kirk Cousins. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Simple as that. You coming off of a game where people questioning if you healthy. So we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out for sure. And guess what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Stop talking to me about last year. I mean that. Stop talking to me about last year. I'm not entertaining you. If you're talking about last year, I'm not. Because last year is irrelevant now. Last year's irrelevant to everybody. I don't want to talk about last year with nobody. Shout out to my man Penn 9617 with the $1.99 super chat. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. He says, "What up?" He said, "What's up, bro? It's game day." Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's game day. It's going to be a big game for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm really excited about this game. I'm really excited about this game, man. Thank you so much, Penn, for your super chat, brother. Thank you. And Samir and Anaptawi. Samir, thank you so much for your super chat. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you for the love. Keep the main thing, says Shipley is our fullback. No, well, I wouldn't say that. But, and that's another thing too, right? Kellen Moore clearly likes Will Shipley a lot because Will Shipley was on that field a good amount last week. I mean, granted, he didn't touch the rock, but they used him in motion. They used him as a threat. Shipley is a threat in the passing game too. That's another thing, right? The Eagles have so many pass catchers on this fucking offense. Like we gotta really think about the way this team is constructed now. They have so many pass catchers on offense. Guys that can really catch the ball. All three of their running backs can catch the ball. Like pretty well, in fact. And then, what else? Once again, Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, like, listen, I'm excited about the game. I'm excited about this game. I'm going to be excited all year fucking round, regardless of how it go down, because I'm an entertainer at the end of the day. And I got to bring that heat no matter what's going on. You dig what I'm saying? I got a responsibility to y'all. I got a responsibility to y'all to bring that heat no matter what's going on. Y'all tripping if y'all think my mood gonna change. Y'all tripping. Listen, I'm excited about next week. I'm excited about that Saints game. I'm excited about that. I want to see how this defense handles Alvin Kamara and Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave, Derek Carr, who's actually comfortable in the offense for the first time. I'm bringing that smoke for whoever. I want to smoke with everybody. I don't care what you did to the last man. I don't care what you put up against the Cowboys. I don't care what happened against the Steelers. Atlanta, I don't care. I want to know, who are you this week? Who will you be tonight? Same thing with the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Last week, it was exciting. It was fun. Who are you tonight? Who are you this week? This is a week-to-week league. It's hard to string together trends, positive ones at that. It's hard. It's difficult. This is a difficult game to play. It takes so much out of you. But I'm sorry. I want to smoke with everybody. See, I ain't got to play the game. I'm not on the team, so I can talk trash. I can look ahead. That's another thing too. I don't play for the team. I can look ahead. So, look, man, I appreciate that. It's not easy to string together trends in this league. It's not easy. The good ones. And like my man said, Big Chris, the Saints put up 40-plus points back-to-back weeks. A trend is not 2 games. A trend, in my opinion, is 3 games or more. That's a trend. That's a trend to me. It's actually in the name. Trend, Trey, 3. You get it? So me personally, I've always felt like a trend is 3 games or more, 3 weeks or more, right? 3 opponents or more. That's a trend to me. If your defense gave up 150 rushing yards in 3 straight weeks, that's a trend. Although I'm excited about the Philadelphia Eagles, they have not established a trend yet. They have 1 game for us to be excited about. 1 game. Same thing go for the Atlanta Falcons. 1 game where they didn't look good. I can't say that's a trend. I can't. And I know Big Chris has trending possessions, right? I understand that too. That's a big deal as well. But games take on a complexion. Games take on a tonality and an identity, right? All games aren't really created equal. So certain circumstances may allow for that to continue, right? That is a trend. But Chris, you're right. 14 that is a trend in terms of possessions, from possession by possession. But all it takes is one game for somebody to say, nah, that ain't happening. All it takes is one game. So that's why I go game by game rather than possession by possession. I leave that for the analytics and the stat nerds. But for me, drill trends are established on a game-by-game basis, right? 3 games to me is a trend, not 2 games, not 1 game. That's just my opinion. That's all. I'm not here to convince you. And let me get to my girl Fanny's super chat. Thank you so much, Fanny, for your $5 super chat. Thank you. I really do appreciate you, sweetheart. She says, just paying it forward. This is my first super chat ever. In the words of Seal, fly like an eagle to the sea. Fanny, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. As a matter of fact, let me make sure I give you your wrench. I'm going to give you your wrench, Fanny. You are now a moderator. Let's see what else we got here. Let me make sure I get Samir their wrench as well. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much, Fanny. And like I said earlier, Fanny was our giveaway winner from last week on Friday. I did a giveaway, and Fanny was our winner. So shout out to Fanny. Really, really, really grateful to her. And your gift should be arriving sometime tomorrow, maybe early Wednesday. All right, let me get to some of your comments here. Where are we? Oh, yeah, by the way, you guys, we have over 190 people in the live stream. We only got 80 likes. Come on, you guys. Come on, you guys. Let's go on a run real quick. Let's go on a run. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are engaged in the content. If you're new to the show, if this is your first time tuning in, make sure you are subscribed to the show as well, right? On top of that, make sure you guys go check out the Chalk It Up Sports merch shop. We got a ton of items on there for you guys to go check out. We got hoodies, we got t-shirts, we got sweatshirts. I really do appreciate you guys for locking in on the content. It means a lot to me. It means a lot. So make sure you guys smash that like button. Over 190 people here, only 93 likes. Come on, y'all. We should have 100 by now. Welly Well says, Dallas always getting these teams hyped up after they lose to them. First it was Green Bay, now it's New Orleans. Listen, man. You know, New Orleans, they put 40 points on the Panthers. I can't put too much stock into that, right? But you put 40-plus points on that Cowboys defense. That's something. It's something. It's something. I'm not going to pretend it ain't. Twiz says, Tone got them bean pies. You funny as hell, Twiz. Hey, yo, if you're from Philly, if you know, right? If you know, you know. Nah, I ain't got the bean pies out, player. Birds Huddle says, would you rather have Avonte Maddox in a slot? Well, you kind of answered my question, right? I mean, based off what I saw, nah, like I don't want Avonte in the slot. Based off what I saw last week, he didn't look like he had the legs. S. Blunt says we'll see the Saints next week, so we'll see if they're serious. Facts. Listen, if the Saints come off of beating the Eagles and the Cowboys in back-to-back weeks, then you got to start taking them a little more serious. But listen, you crushed the Panthers and you crushed the Fool's Gold Cowboys. Got to take that with a grain of salt, right? Got to take it with a grain of salt. But I respect the product, and on top of that, their offense is putting up numbers. But I got to be mindful. You put up 40 points on the Panthers, and you put up 40 points on a Fool's Gold Cowboys team. Got to be mindful about that. And their running game was legit yesterday. So, Fanny, you bring up a good point with Alvin Kamara. He's a tough guy to stop. He's not easy. To stop. As Blunt says, he's still confident that we can beat this Atlanta team. Yeah, I'm confident too. Very confident. Keep the main thing says, I was dead sick with some COVID last week. I missed the giveaway. It's all good, man. It could be a turn this week. You never know. Just make sure you tune into a live. Every time we go live, you got a chance. Welly Well says, we already read this one. Okay. Big Chris says, why am I overlooking the Falcons? Damn. Big Chris, you better not. I'm not overlooking them. I hope that's not the vibe y'all got from me. that I'm overlooking the Falcons, because I'm not. You know, on Friday, the title of the live stream was, what was it? Anything can happen or something like that? What was the title of that live stream from last week? It was expect the unexpected. That's what it was. Expect the unexpected. Listen, the Falcons are going to overcorrect that offense, man. I'm telling you. They went back to the drawing board with that offense, and they're trying to figure out the best way to get Kirk Cousins comfortable. They're going to try to get Bijan Robinson going early. He's their offense. If you, me personally, if you start Bijan Robinson, or if you make his life hell, that's the game right there. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Some people may feel differently about this, and look, I want y'all opinion. I want y'all to tell me if I'm tripping, right? I want y'all to tell me if I'm tripping, okay? If I'm tripping, say you tripping. If I'm not tripping, say you on point. I think Kyle Pitts overrated. I think Kyle Pitts is overrated. I actually think Kyle Pitts isn't even a top. Kyle Pitts isn't even better than Sam Laporta. I think Sam Laporta is better than Kyle Pitts. I think TJ Hockenson is better than Kyle Pitts. I think the tight end in Cleveland. What's my man name? What's the tight end in Cleveland? Why am I forgetting his name? Somebody help me. The tight end in Cleveland. Somebody help me, please. Njoku. Thank you. Yeah, Fanny. Ohio's own and Njoku. I think Njoku better than Kyle Pitts. Who else in the league right now? Who else? I think Dallas Goedert is better than Kyle Pitts. I think TJ. Who else? I think the tight end in Dallas, Ferguson. I think Ferguson is better than Kyle Pitts. And guess what, y'all? Kyle Pitts might burn us tonight. Yo, Kyle Pitts might burn us tonight. I'm talking crazy. And Kyle Pitts might go for $100 tonight. I'm talking crazy. Yo, but you know what's so funny though? A lot of y'all was like, you on point. And look, to be fair to Kyle Pitts, right? To be totally fair to him, he has not had quarterback play at all. At all. He has not had good quarterback play at all. You know, you put him in the same position as Jahan Dotson, right? Guys that have not had good quarterback play. Who'd he have? He had, was it Desmond Ridder or something like that? He had Desmond Ridder. He had Tyler Heineke. Who else was the quarterbacks for Atlanta? Who else? Like, he hasn't had a real quarterback in a long time. He hasn't had a quarterback. So look, I'm talking crazy. I am talking crazy, right? He got Mariota over there. Oh man. I think he did have Matt Ryan his rookie year. I think he did have Matt Ryan his rookie year, if I'm not mistaken. But look, man. Look. I want to be reasonable. I want to be fair. Look, at the same time, y'all know I'm going to be as honest as possible, but I'm also going to look. I'm going to be as reasonable and fair-minded as possible, but I'm also going to have fun. I'm also going to talk a little shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Kyle Pitts is a good tight end. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, you guys. Don't get me wrong. I think Kyle Pitts is a pretty good tight end. He's good. Kyle Pitts is definitely. Would y'all consider Kyle Pitts to be a top 10 tight end? Excuse me. Let me ask y'all a question. Would you guys consider Kyle Pitts to be a top 10 tight end? Big Chris says top 25. Fanny says no. Willie Well says no. Chin says no. Flexen says Pitts is top 15, top 20. Micah says top 15. Chaotic says negative. Flexen says top 15 to top 20. Rufus Wallace says top 10 to top 20. Oh, I'm sorry, 10 to 20. 10 to 20. Between 10 to 20. That's where I have him at. That's where I have him at. I have him in that 10 to 20 range. He's definitely, I think he's top 15, right? But that's my problem. Bobby Murphy, thank you. Yes, Bobby, yes. That's my biggest problem with him. He's not physical. I like my tight ends physical. I'm sorry. That's my biggest knock on him. He's not physical. He's not physical. And he doesn't get in the end zone. No, Drew. I can judge his physicality. Fuck that. No. I can judge his physicality. That was the knock on him in college, right? He's not physical. Listen, he's a pure finesse tight end, pure vertical. Can't block, can't do nothing. If he's not touching a rock, he's not providing any value. That's a problem for me. As my tight end, I need you to not only be able to catch, I need you to be able to block. And me personally, if you're a tight end and you're only valuable if you're touching the ball, I got a problem with that. Am I tripping when I say that? As a tight end, I need you to have value in more than just catching the ball. If you can't block and you're a tight end, I got a problem with that. He's not physical enough. Derek Ranson. Okay, we got ourselves a Falcons fan here. He said, I agree with you on Kyle. He is not physical, and I'm a Falcons fan. Look, I think Kyle Pitts is a top 15 tight end in this league. I think that's reasonable to say. But his lack of physicality is what makes me look at him funny. That's just me. If you put hands and feet on Kyle Pitts, he's a non-factor. He's a non-factor if you get hands on him. He's not physical. He's not physical at all. The word finesse and tight end do not go together. Matter of fact, how tall is Kyle Pitts? Kyle Pitts like 6'6", right? Listen, y'all. Kyle Pitts is 6'6", 246 pounds. He should be way more physical than what he is. Y'all, listen to this. Kyle Pitts, 6'6", 246. Let me show y'all something. Real quick. Check this out. So, Dallas Goedert, right? Dallas Goedert is 6'5", 256. 6'5", 256, Dallas Goedert, right? Kyle Pitts, and thank you again, Derek Ranson. I appreciate you. And Kyle Pitts is 6'6", 246. He is not physical at all. 6'6", 246, and you're not physical? I'm sorry, y'all. That's a problem for me. Come on, man. That's a problem for me. And honestly, if it was me, I'm putting Cooper DeJean on him. I'm putting Cooper DeJean on him. Forget that. I'm putting Cooper DeJean on him. As Blunt says, Kyle Pitts is more in the Zach Ertz type of mold. Pitts is the type of tight end to catch 100 balls. You don't draft him for blocking. I hear you. 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 I guess you know what? To your point, as Blunt, when you draft somebody, you obviously weigh the pros and cons of that kind of player. You weigh the pros and cons of a player like Kyle Pitts, right? He's going to catch 100 balls for you. But at the same time, right, when you need him to block, can he do it? See, the thing is, though, but here's the thing about Kyle Pitts, right? The ball isn't coming to you all the time. So when the ball isn't coming to you, what are you doing? If we need to get the running game going, if we need you to hold the edge in the run game, can you do that? No. Listen, there are going to be games where your running game is leading the charge. But if your tight end can't block, there's no way for you to expose the edges. I'm willing to bet if Kyle Pitts was a better blocker, Bijan Robinson would be way more productive. Way more productive. You see, we got to understand, Dallas Goedert on this team has so much value because of his blocking ability. Like, you think, obviously Dallas Goedert can catch the ball and do amazing things after the catch, but y'all think his real, Dallas Goedert's real value is in the blocking, is in the run game. In the run game. Dallas Goedert's value, it grows exponentially because of his blocking ability. But anyway, I don't want to stay too long on Kyle Pitts, man. I don't. That's not something I intended on. But regardless, though, it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a very, very, very fun game. It's going to be really entertaining. Let's see where we at here. So we got over 180 people on the live stream, 115 likes. I love it. I love it. Let's get that like button up, y'all. Make sure you guys smash that like button. I really do appreciate the love and the support. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Show Enough says Dallas Goedert is a superstar on another team. I hate the way we underutilize him. Well, I mean, it's not the easiest thing. You playing with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, and now you got Saquon Barkley in there. It's not an easy task to get yours. All he got to do is just get open, and the ball gonna find him. But Show Enough, I do agree with you that Dallas Goedert. I feel like there should definitely be games where Dallas Goedert should be a focal point. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like too much Dallas Goedert is treated like an accessory, and I feel like Dallas Goedert can really take over a game. I feel like Dallas Goedert can really take over a game if you give him the opportunity to. So, sure enough, I do agree that Dallas Goedert would be dominant. He would be dominant. But here's another thing too, right? It's only been 1 week. I fully expect Kellen Moore to get Dallas Goedert the ball way more. I'm telling you guys, I think it's going to be a big game for Dallas Goedert tonight. I think this is going to be a big game for Dallas Goedert and Saquon Barkley tonight. I think Devontae is going to do Devontae things. I think Devontae is going to have, 6, 7, 8 catches. You know what I'm saying? I think Dotson's going to have about 5 catches. I think Goddard's going to have 7 catches, 8 catches tonight. I think the leading guys in targets and catches is going to be Smitty and Goddard. As a matter of fact, if I had to rank who's going to have the most targets tonight in the passing game, I'll say Devontae Smith 1, Dallas Goedert 2, Jahan Dotson Saquon 3, Jahan Dotson 4. That's what I think is going to happen. I think Devontae is going to lead the team in targets, then Dallas Goedert, then Saquon, and then Dotson. But you never know. Saquon may have 6 targets, Dotson may have 5. Or Dotson may have 6 targets and Saquon may have 5. I mean, we're splitting hairs, but regardless though, Dallas Goedert is a player that you want to get involved early. S. Blunt with the $1.99 super chat. Thank you, big dog. I appreciate you. He says, what's your stat predictions for tonight? Oh, that's a good question. I think this is a game where Jalen Hurts goes for about 240 yards passing. I think Jalen Hurts goes for about 245 passing. I think Jalen Hurts throws 2 touchdowns. Yeah, that's what I think. I think Hurts goes for about 240, 250 yards passing. I think he throws 2 touchdowns, right? No turnovers. Devontae Smith, I think Devontae Smith is going to have, I think Smitty's going to have 9 targets, about 7 catches, 100 yards plus. I think Dallas Goedert's going to have about 8 targets, maybe 6 catches, 7 catches for about 80 yards. For about 75, 80 yards, maybe a touchdown. I think, and look, I'm spitballing. I didn't think about this. You know, I'm kind of just rolling with the dice here. I think Saquon Barkley is going to have over 20 touches again. I think Saquon's going to have 20 plus touches. I think Saquon's going to have over 100 yards from scrimmage. I think Saquon's going to have 2 touchdowns tonight. I think Jahan Dotson gets about maybe 6 targets, maybe. May have 5 catches, 4 catches for about 60, 70 yards. Something like that. Maybe 50, 60 yards, you know. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's pretty much where I'm at. Again, I'm guessing, right? I'm just spitballing. Shout out to my man S. Blunt with the $1.99 super chat. B. Mills with the $1.99 super chat. He says, do you think Johnny Wilson will make an appearance tonight? That's a good question. That's a very, very, very good question. Man, that's a good question. He's questionable tonight. What is he dealing with? Is it a concussion? What is he dealing with? So Johnny Wilson is dealing with a hamstring as well. So Johnny Wilson has a hamstring, and so does AJ Brown have a hamstring. So, and Johnny Wilson didn't practice on Saturday. Johnny Wilson may not play. Yeah, I don't think Johnny Wilson's playing, man. I don't think he's playing. As of right now, he's questionable, but he didn't practice on Saturday. Same thing with AJ Brown. AJ Brown didn't practice on Saturday. Johnny Wilson didn't practice on Saturday. So I wouldn't be surprised if Johnny Wilson don't play. And look, here's another thing too, right? This is the first regular season game AJ Brown's missed. This is only his second game that he's missed as a Philadelphia Eagle. I know he missed the playoff game last year, and he didn't. And obviously he missing tonight's game. AJ Brown has been very healthy for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's been very healthy for them. Thank you, B Mills, for your super chat. Crowley says, is Wilson doubtful or questionable? They have him listed as questionable. So we may see and we may not. But his big ass with a hamstring, and he didn't practice yesterday. I don't know. He may not play. He may not play. Fanny Eagles fan says Skinny Batman can reach up and get the ball in double coverage and not fumble. He's used to overthrowing passes. That's why he's so clutch. Yo, Devontae Smith is way more physical than people give him credit for. Way more physical. Devontae Smith, like what he did in that Green Bay game on that final drive was was bully shit. Was bully ball. Who would ever correlate Devontae Smith with bully ball? Devontae Smith was playing bully ball last week. Jason Bennett says, did anyone get elevated from the practice squad for this game? That's a good question. Nothing came across the wire. Let me see. Nothing came across the wire yet for any sort of elevations, to your point. Nothing has come across the wire quite yet for any elevations. Yeah, I'm not saying anything right now. All right, let's see. Keep the main thing says, I don't think Rodgers is playing. No, Rodgers is playing. He was at practice, full participant. Rodgers is playing. Isaiah Rodgers is definitely playing. He's definitely playing. A-Track says Eagles win big tonight. First Cousins on prime time. Eagles losing. Equals losing. That's funny. All those guys. Okay, let me just bring it up on screen. Make it easy for you guys. All right, so here's the details on your Philadelphia Eagles, right? A.J. Brown did not practice on Saturday. He's out for the game. Isaiah Rodgers, he's been practicing all week. So he's a full participant. Devin White, full participant. So he's going to be available. Milton Williams, full participant. He's going to be available. Johnny Wilson did not practice on Saturday, and he's questionable. So here we go. This is the injury report for Philadelphia Eagles, okay? Only person out right now officially is A.J. Brown. Me personally, I don't think Johnny Wilson will play tonight. If he does, we'll see. S. Blunt says the question is who will start at corner and nickel. Bingo. I'm glad you went there. As Blunt, before we get out of here, I want to talk about that with you guys, right? The defense, because defensively, the Philadelphia Eagles, they did give up 29 points, over 400 yards of offense last week, but at the same time, they were going up against a loaded Packers offense, and they were a new defense, a new coordinator, new pieces, young guys all the way around. They were also put into some compromising situations by the offense. But this Eagles defense, what's your game plan, right? Are you going to keep Quayon on the outside and then put Cooper in the slot, right? Are you going to have Quayon play the outside in base formation and then shift him to the slot when you go into the nickel formation and then have Isaiah Rodgers play on the outside, right? What's the game plan here? Because me personally, I want Quayon Mitchell to stay outside. I want him outside, man. That boy looked good on the boundaries. And then roll the dice and put Cooper DeJean in the slot. Let him learn. Let him learn. This is the mindset I'm on. Moves Brown says, man, we need to put Slay in the slot or something. I think he's our third best slot, but maybe most important if you can feel me on that. I don't know, man. I like Slay on the outside. Slay has earned that right. It would be entirely disrespectful to put Slay on the inside. Darius Slay is an outside corner. I think Darius Slay is still a starting level corner in this league. Still. To be a starting level corner, you have to be one of the top 62 corners in the NFL. To be a starting corner, you have to be one of the top 62 corners. And I think Darius Slay is definitely in that top 20 range. Top 15, top 20 range. I think Darius Slay is still a top 20, top 15 corner. Still. At his age, that's a win. At his age, that is a win. That's a win. Darius Slay at 33 still being considered top 15, top 20 at his position. I like those odds. I like that. Twiz says Slay would make a good deep safety. He has good ball skills. Fanny says Slay still has some miles left in the tank, left in the engine. I feel you on that. Jason Bennett says, will Kellen run any trips formations off of motion tonight? It's possible, man. Listen, it's all possible. It's all possible. Chaotic Green with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. He says Quinyon got to go in the slot when we play Atlanta. Tired of getting worked in the slot when we play them. Interesting. I forgot about that part. That's very interesting. Atlanta, they have Drake London, Ray McLeod, Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson. Ray McLeod and Darnell Mooney, they can get you in the slot if you let them. They can get you. So, listen, Chaotic, I understand your sentiment, right? I definitely understand your sentiment. Still, man, I want Quinyon on the slot, though. I mean, on the outside, excuse me. I still want Quinyon on the outside. That's just where I'm at with it. After watching him play how he played against Romeo Doubs and, Dontavion Wicks and all those guys, man, and, Christian Watson, I just got to see. I need young boy on the outside, man. I need him on the outside. And then Cooper DeJean, bro, just put him out there. Oh, Chaotic, you were talking about Dallas. Oh, Dallas. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha, Chaotic. Gotcha. You're talking about Dallas. Well, to your point about Dallas, their passing game is CeeDee Lamb or bust. I want to tell you that right now. If CeeDee Lamb is not getting off, their passing game is not going to get off. And their tight end, Ferguson, is going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. I think he's dealing with some kind of injury. So as long as I know where CeeDee Lamb is, I could work. I mean, I forgot they got Brandon Cooks too. I forgot about that. They still got Brandon Cooks, who is a threat. Listen, I don't know. I guess we can agree to disagree. I want Quinyon on the outside. I'm ready to roll the dice with the young guys in the slot. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who kind of pisses me off about not playing in the slot, Isaiah Rodgers. It pisses me off. I'm trying to understand why he's so against playing in the slot. Like, it really grinds my gears that Isaiah Rodgers is so against playing in the slot. And the fact that the Eagles kind of let him slide and not tried him at the slot position at any point, it's annoying to me. Crowley says, and thank you again, Chaotic, for your super chat. Crowley says he is not good at run fits. That's why Rodgers doesn't play slot. Good point. That's a good point. That's a very, very good point, Crowley. I can't deny that. He's small. He's only like 5'11", weighs less than 200 pounds, Crowley, you're spot on. You're spot on. You just clear that right up. Still, though, in the passing game, on like, I'll put you this way, right? Still on obvious pass situations, I don't see why he can't play the slot though. But I understand. I still understand what you're saying though. I understand what you're saying. He's not known for his tackling ability. He's not known for getting in run fits. He's not. Warv says Rodgers don't want to tackle. That's why. Let me give Chaotic his wrench too, by the way. Take care of you, Chaotic. I got you. All right. All right. There we go. Okay, where are we? Okay, yeah, we're about to get out of here pretty soon. We're about to get out of here. Listen, you guys, I really do appreciate the love. I appreciate the support you guys have been giving me thus far. Please make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show, especially if you're new. I'm always grateful for you guys, and the show is nothing without the people. I want to make that very clear to you guys. The show is nothing without you guys. And I'm so grateful you guys have been investing in my content. You guys have been giving super chats. You guys have been donating to this. You guys have been buying the merchandise, right? It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. So I just want to remind you guys, right? I just want to remind you guys. Chalk It Up Sports is not only available on YouTube. Chalk It Up Sports is also available on Apple Podcasts, right? And I did speak on Jahan Dotson earlier. Chalk It Up Sports is not only available on YouTube. Chalk It Up Sports is also available on Apple Podcasts, right? All you got to do is search Chalk It Up Sports or search Tone DeShields II. The content is updated damn near daily. Make sure you guys lock in on the content. We're available on Apple Podcasts. I love listening to the show on Apple Podcasts. Me personally, I always double back on my content so I can study myself, study how I communicate and study how the show goes. I love listening to the show on Apple Podcasts because it really gives me a chance to really focus on the words and not really on the visuals, right? So the show is also available on Apple Podcasts. Also, you guys, the show is available on Spotify, right? If you want to check out the content, not only on YouTube and not only on Apple Podcasts, you can check it out on Spotify. There, make sure you guys lock in as well. Once again, on Spotify, right? You get access to the audio and you get access to the video as well. So I think that's really, really dope. So make sure you guys lock in on the content. Again, I want to make sure I give you guys plenty of options to access this content. YouTube, live streams, right? The live streams are on YouTube. The clips are on YouTube. And then whenever the live stream ends, whenever the live show ends, right? I always upload the show on Spotify and Apple Podcast within the hour after the show ends. So the show is going to be available to you guys in more ways than one. And I appreciate you guys locking in on that. Also, you guys, make sure you lock in on the Chalk It Up Sports merch shop, right? The Chalk It Up Sports merch shop has added some items to it. We have hoodies now. We have sweatshirts. We obviously have the t-shirts, right? Let me show you guys these hoodies. So the hoodies, here's what's dope about the hoodies. Let me show you guys this. So the hoodies, right? On the back, there's the Apex Predator graphic on the back. And then on the front, you have Chalk It Up Sports. Written very modestly, written real small in white letters. So on the front, you got the Chalk It Up Sports wording. And then on the back of the hoodie, you got the Apex Predator logo, the Apex Predator graphic. And it comes in 3 colorways. It comes in black, it comes in green, And it also comes in like a charcoal gray, like an asphalt. So make sure you guys lock in on that again. You know, comes in 3 colorways. The graphic is on the back of the hoodie. You feel me? And on the front, we got Chalk It Up Sports. So you guys have options here, right? And then the sweatshirts, right? The sweatshirts, the graphic is on the front, comes in black, comes in like an army green, like a military green, and it also comes in like a gray, like a sports gray. Okay, so you guys can lock in on that. You guys have options here, and obviously you guys know we got the shirts. We also added another colorway for the shirts. We added another colorway for the shirts. The shirts, the graphics on the front, we got black, we got eucalyptus, otherwise known as tan, and we also have cypress, which is basically like a type of green, like an olive green. Okay, so again, you guys have options in the store. You got hoodies, you got shirts, you got sweatshirts. I know the weather's going to be breaking very soon. The fall season is coming. Hoodie season is coming, you guys. So make sure you guys lock in on the merchandise. And again, I want to remind you guys with the hoodie, okay? The graphic, the artwork is on the back. It's not on the front. All right? The graphic is on the back. And on the front, we have Chalk It Up Sports written. Real modestly, real small. Nothing too loud, keeping it simple. Okay? Make sure you guys lock in on that. You have options, and I really do appreciate the love, and I appreciate the support you guys have been giving me. Once again, the show is available on not only YouTube, but it's also available on Spotify, and it's also available on Apple Podcasts. And that's our show. Thank you guys for donating to the channel. Thank you, Pin9617. Thank you, Samir. Thank you, Fanny, for donating to the show. And also, once again, shout out to Fanny for being our giveaway winner from Friday. Fanny should be receiving her gift within the next couple days or so. So shout out to Fanny. Thank you so much for your super chat, girl. I really do appreciate you. Shout out to my man B Mills with the super chat. Shout out to my man S Blunt with the super chat as well. I think my man S Blunt donated too, if I'm not mistaken. For some reason, not popping up right here. But K Order Green, thank you for your super chat. Thank y'all. Means a lot to me, man. B Mills, K Order Green, thank y'all. So we out of here. Thank y'all so much. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show. Make sure you guys also stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II, and you guys were tuned in to a Monday edition, a game day edition of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game.